Isometric training to increase strength, speed, and power for boxing.
Very straight to the point, do you use isometrics? If yes, when? Yeah, we do use isometrics at Boxing Science for a range of different reasons. We probably use isometrics in every single program that we do at Boxing Science. The reason why isometrics are so important is because we're wanting to increase that snap at the end range of the punch. During a punch, we have our double peak in activation, where we're increasing muscle activation at the start of a punch, we relax, and then we snap at that end range. That snap at the end range is the full body tension through the arms, through the core, and through the lower body as well. And it's really important that we get that snap, because that is what's going to help transfer that force and that power, that speed that you delivered in the punch into the bag, the pad, or essentially your opponent. So it's really important that we train for isometrics so we're able to tense up our whole body at once and increase that isometric tension to deal with them impact forces. So we do a lot of punch isometric work, whether that is using a med ball up against the wall, using a dynamometer for feedback, doing some punch isometrics, or we do our manual isometric holds, where we're doing the punch iso holds in many different positions. So we'll do the jab, the backhand, and we'll do the hooks and the uppercuts in this. And this is encouraging that full body tension at them end ranges of each punch. So this is the most common isometric that we use, because it has probably the biggest transfer, because you're getting them joint specific angles, working that snap at the end range of the punch. And it's teaching a boxer to use the full body in that boxing specific stance. So for a long-term perspective, it can help improve fighter, but also it helps in the short term, because it can actually have some potentiating effects to help warm up and fire up an athlete ready to go in to their boxing sessions or going into a fight. There's actually some research that shows that punch iso holds acutely improves punching force when used during a warm-up. This looks fancy, fighters feel good, but also there's some research behind it that shows that it helps improve punch power. So this is the reason why we encourage fighters to use this as part of a warm-up in their boxing sessions, but particularly using it on fight night as well. And this is why we do this with all our athletes on the Boxing Science program. Isometrics can also be used to help improve rotational strength. So we use our pull-off press variations, whether that's using it against a cable machine or using it up against the wall, because we've found peak force during isometric pull-off press hold has a 60 to 80% transfer to performance on the landmine punch throw. So essentially, the peak force that you can produce in a rotational faction isometrically has a 60 to 80% transfer to your punching power. And this is one of the biggest transfers that we see. So when we're comparing grip strength, when we're comparing jumping, height, correlating that with landmine punch throw performance, rotational strength, peak rotational force is one of our most important contributors towards the punch. Training this isometrically obviously makes sense. Getting maximum efforts out on the cable machine with a dynamometer to give an athlete feedback, and also using it up against the wall, driving it in, using a med ball or using a towel can help protect the hands on this and help improve and increase maximum force. So that's the reason why we use isometrics there. This can also be used as part of complexes to help improve rotational power as well. We also use isometrics through generic compound lifts as well. The top three that we use are a single leg trap bar deadlift, hip thrust, we either do this bilateral or unilateral, and also the floor press. And the reason why we use these three exercises, because they're generally safe whilst doing isometric exercises, but also exposes our athletes to high amounts of force that they probably won't be able to achieve when doing their maximum lift. So for example, single leg exercise, boxers will particularly struggle with loading up a single leg exercise because they'll end up getting quite sore from it. And also they haven't got the movement patterns or capabilities to be able to control that effectively. So doing a fixed position, doing it isometrically will help increase the amount of force, in turn increasing strength and power through that single leg. We also use this during the hip thrust, doing single leg variations, doing bilateral variations is increasing the amount of hip extension forces and exposing them to high amounts of force. On these lower body lifts, we often use the weighing scales to give athletes feedback to make sure that they are performing maximum efforts. And then we've got the floor press. The floor press is a fantastic way to overload the upper body. Doing horizontal pressing is really important for boxing performance because we're wanting to be able to fire effectively from the shoulder and deliver fast and hard punches in horizontal action. But doing heavy loaded dumbbell chest press, heavy loaded bench press, it's going to be quite problematic on the shoulders. Boxers are then quite limited in terms of the amount of weights that are lifted, and also they're going to be exposing that shoulder joint to high amounts of load. If you can get a high amounts of force through an isometric floor press, it's a fantastic way to help improve upper body strength. Now, when do we use isometrics? We use isometrics at different stages of training camp. Primarily, we use isometrics as part of complex training. So this is where we're pairing up the isometric action with a plyometric movement. So for example, we do a hip thrust with some sort of jumping action, whether that's a box jump or a counter movement jump. We do the floor press with an explosive upper body action, whether that's a supine med ball chest pass, a plyometric press up, or something similar. It's an effective way to potentiate the full body to go into them explosive actions. So primarily we'd use the isometrics as part of complex training, and this can be anywhere from 6 weeks out from a fight to even up towards 2 weeks out from the fight, because the beauty of isometric training is that it's not that fatiguing as well, and it's not going to get athletes sore. So it's a fantastic way to help increase strength and power, keep that strength and power going all the way through training camp, even when they're going through their more intense sparring phases. Last thing that you want to do as a strength and conditioning coach, keep loading up an athlete, keep just loading on the weights, keep pushing them harder and harder, especially when they're going through intense sparring, because this is what essentially is the most important part of their boxing training. With isometrics, range of different ways that we use it. We use it for very punch-specific reasons through our punch iso holds. We use it for rotational strength training to help improve rotational strength and rotational power. And then we use it for our compound lifts to help increase maximum force, for hip extension, single leg, and for pressing strength. But then also we use it as a potentiation tool for our complex training to essentially transfer into faster, more explosive actions. Okay guys, so that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you are wanting to find out more about our coaching techniques at Boxing Science, go and check out the Ultimate Coaching for Combat Sports workshop. This is the most popular strength and conditioning workshop in boxing and combat sports, where we break down the Boxing Science training methods that's used with world champions. This has been delivered in multiple locations around the world. Now you can get access with just a click of the button. This is brand new, it's insightful, and it's going to take your coaching and your knowledge of sports science in boxing and combat sports to the next level. Up-to-date research and training techniques presented in online webinars, practical demonstrations, and a 100-page ebook jam-packed full of information and our boxing science training secrets. If you're interested in this, go and check out the link in the description, and you can also get 20% discount using this discount code, Ultimate Coach 20. You can get access to this course at a much cheaper price. Okay guys, so that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content, including workouts, breakdowns of the training champions, and also your Q&A sessions. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you on the next video at Boxing Science.